afternoon, everyone. We are at the AI Expo. Today is day 2, coming to you live and direct from the Sandton Convention Center. I am with Professor Francesco from NITheCS. It's a pleasure having you on the show, sir. Thank you for joining.
Pleasure is all mine.
Yes. How are you finding the expo so far? I know we're, towards the end of the day. It has been quite a big day.
Yeah.
How are you finding the expo?
Like every year, it's always very interesting. You meet lots of people, establish new contacts, get new ideas. Yeah, just right. Yeah.
Wow. Professor, we'd love to know more about the work that you do at NITheCS.
Yeah. Now, NITheCS is a new national research institute. Yeah. It's the short, it's the acronym for the National Institute for Theoretical and Computational Sciences. Mm-hmm. And we take care of essentially all the basic sciences, just the theoretical and the computational aspects. Yeah? So the disciplines that we take care of are mathematics, statistics, data science, theoretical physics, astrophysics, quantitative biology, bioinformatics, quantitative finance, and climate change modeling. Yeah?
Wow.
So we have a big group of researchers, almost 400. Yeah? That are at all universities in the country. So we are a consortium of all universities in the country. Yeah. We're organized in 5 nodes. Yeah, and the hub is in Stellenbosch. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible, Prof. You've been in the world of academia for quite some time. You have a very strong scholastic backbone. What do you feel are some of the interesting insights you found in your career from an AI perspective?
In particular from the point of view of our institute, AI is a little bit the glue that holds it all together. Yeah, because now you find AI everywhere. Yeah, from mathematics to climate change modeling, statistics, everywhere there is lots of use of AI. Yeah? So that's becoming really one of the pillars of scientific computing, if you want. Yeah, so that's really fundamental. Yeah?
So to a non-technical user, to somebody that isn't as exposed to AI, in simple terms, how would you define AI? Is there a particular definition within academia that we should know about?
It's probably the same definition that everybody uses. Yeah? Just maybe machine learning on steroids.
Right, machine learning on steroids. No, that's a really good one.
Something like
really
that. Yeah? So trying to learn from data and make predictions out of the data that you've learned, essentially. Yeah? And now we know that you can use it for climate change modeling, for weather forecasts, for many things that just a few years ago we didn't know it would be that useful. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, Prof, one thing I really appreciate about AI from an African perspective is how impact-driven it is, right? Yeah. So being able to solve challenges associated and provide solutions associated with SDG goals.
That's fundamental. That's what we focus on. That's what we're trying to achieve. Yeah.
That's amazing. Just in terms of the adoption of AI, where do you feel we are in South Africa? And maybe in the rest of the African continent, do you feel that our level of readiness is at a global level, or do you feel we still, need to catch up a bit?
I think we are fighting above our weight.
Punching,
we are punching above our weight
yes.
class. Yeah? Where we are really lacking is in infrastructure. Yeah? If we have access in a university context to a GPU cluster, it's maybe 50s, yeah? But people like Elon Musk have 100,000.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So that's the gap that we need to fill. Yeah? So you can't only speak about AI, you also need to do it.
Absolutely.
And at the moment we don't have enough, I think, hardware locally to allow us to do what we probably all would like to do.
Absolutely.
And we rely upon acrobatic solution to get access to computing power. Yeah.
Where do you feel the challenges in us having access to compute power, to infrastructure, to GPUs? Are we not expressing the need as much to investors? Why do we not have as much access to GPUs as the rest of the world?
Probably a combination of many factors. Yeah? Mainly, coming from an academic university environment, we just need to convince our government sponsors to give us more funding in that direction, if they want us to be competitive. And it's becoming very important because if you do everything in the cloud, it becomes very quickly very expensive. So it's really necessary to be able to do some things locally, and then if the need be, you can scale it up in the cloud. But for everyday users, it's very important to have access to more computational power, I think.
From an education perspective, do you feel that the set curriculum in South Africa is in fact relevant enough to gear up students for the world of AI?
I mean, at most universities you can study some AI, machine learning and AI of sorts, but we need to do more because it's becoming relevant not only in the sciences but also in the humanities and everywhere. Everybody uses large language models. So some basic education in how to deal with AI, what problems AI can cause, and what is ethical, what is not. I think we need to do a little bit more. But not only us, everybody in the world, they have the same problems.
And your confidence just in where AI is going, are you more leaned towards it becoming beneficial or it becoming more of a peril if we're not careful? It can go both ways.
You can kill somebody with a butter knife.
Yes, absolutely.
But it can be very useful. So all technologies have one side and a dark side. That's why it's important to have these ethical, good AI discussions, so that most users are beneficial. There are always some black sheep somewhere that has some crazy ideas. But overall, I'm confident that we will manage to use it to the benefit of all.
Are there any, I know you must have produced a number of, quite a large body of work in the literature space. Is there anything we should look out for? Are there any journals that you've recently published in the world of AI?
Publishing is our main job.
Yes, of course.
It's publish or perish. In my personal work, research, we're looking more in quantum machine learning, so in the quantum version of machine learning, which is maybe more fundamental research at the moment than practical, everyday use of, and we publish all the time.
That's amazing. How soon do you think the youth should be exposed to AI from a curriculum perspective? So should it be as early as primary school and potentially even kindergarten, right? In that these are,
I'm sure if the parents allow them, they will use it. And they probably will be a generation that grows up with it.
It's quite advanced, yes.
That probably will know nothing else but operating with the use of AI. So we are the older generation, that for us it's new. But for them it's probably the reality in which they grow up. So they will be exposed to AI from the moment they can type something in a keyboard.
Wow.
Or even speak to AI.
Absolutely.
The moment they can speak.
Sure. This is really, really insightful. Just advice that you would share with perhaps the youth in academia looking to go into the world of technology, of IT, of AI. What would you advise, especially for some who don't have a software engineering background? Do you think it is in fact possible to go into the technology ecosystem?
Yeah, 100%. The advice is just to be curious and try things out.
Yes, being curious is everything.
Be curious and just play with things, and try to learn and get a feeling for what you can do, what you can't do.
Absolutely.
And then if you're really interested, then start learning the fundamentals and the basics, and there are lots of problems to be solved.
Wow. Prof, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's much appreciated. I think for some of our viewers who would like to get a hold of you, or perhaps the institute that you work for.
They can visit our website, www.NITheCS.ac.za, NITheCS.ac.za, and they would find all the information they need.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
A warm welcome to South Africa as well, and I hope you have a lovely time here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's good to be here.